Chris Knobloch's promising some changes in the lineup. I won't say what they are. We see this a lot in the playoffs where coaches are coy about that. Does it, in general, not specifically today, but in general, does that affect your preparation in any way when you don't know exactly who's coming in on the other, short of a goalie change?
Not really. No, I wouldn't. I don't think it does. At the same time, listen, it's an age-old practice, right? I guess the only thing is, every coach is anal about preparation, and you'd love to have exact lineups on the board when the players arrive at the rink, and everyone knowing you're not wiping names off the board and warm up, things like that. So, but from a practical preparation point of view, it doesn't make a difference.
Front left, Mark.
You've coached a million big games before. Have you ever gone into one and made 3 healthy scratches in the same game?
That's a good question. I don't. Yeah, I'd have to look back at the list, Mark. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Center right, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Pete. The Oiler power play through the year, when they go through little dry spells, they tend to, there's adjustments. They're pretty good at making little tweaks. Is there any way for you guys to prepare for the idea that there'll probably be some adjustments and tweaks, and how do you prep for that?
Yeah, I think, as you develop a book on the other team, I think you try and anticipate what the tweaks might be based on the history and the tape over the entire year, right? You can see, maybe what they've done when they've tweaked in the past, things like that. But, at the end of the day, you're guessing. I think you want to stick to your foundation and the things, the 2 or 3 things that they do really well, and and then if they throw some tweaks in there, then you adjust on the fly. But there is some work at trying to anticipate what they might look to do next.
Front left, Mike.
Hey, Pete. Any lineup changes you'd like to share?
Fax in, Smith out.
And then any changes in the first periods of the last 2 games that you've looked at, seen on film, that, anything in particular you would like to do differently?
Yeah, start on time. I think that's probably the obvious one. Start on time.
Second row left, Eric.
Hey, Pete. I just want to ask about the impact of Roope Hintz, getting him back in the lineup. Obviously he's a great player, but it seemed to affect everyone else around him. I guess how big is having him and healthy Roope in the lineup for you guys?
Yeah, it's not surprising, and I think probably the more surprising thing is how well we played against the teams we played and the record we had when he was out of the lineup. If you take anyone's number 1 center out of their lineup this time of year, when you're down to the final 8, final 4 teams, it affects all kinds of parts of your game. So, I loved how we weathered that storm, while he was out of the lineup, and obviously, him coming back in changes things for us.
Second row right, Andrew.
Hi, Pete. Fax flip-flopped a few times over this series, the last series. Just wondering your thoughts on what brings him back in today and how hard it might be for him to go back and forth.
Yeah. Well, it probably goes a little bit back to Mark's question, but, when you have depth and you get to this point of the year, Edmonton's coming off a 7-game series, and we're now into game 4 of this one, playing every other day. We're coming off 2 really tough series. I think that's the reason you have depth, is to put in fresh legs at different points, depending. So, for us, I'm sure people are going, you've won 2 games in a row, why are you changing your lineup? Sometimes it's just the practicality of fresh legs and using your depth and keeping everybody involved.
Fourth row on the left, Mike.
Pete, obviously you're concentrating on this series. We all know you go back with Paul Maurice a long time. Is there anything in his press conferences that he says that surprises you anymore?
No, not really. I mean, He's, well, I think he's the best in the business at that, and has been for a long time. I think he's grown more comfortable, in the later stages of his coaching career in that environment, and he's enjoying the ride. I remember sitting and having a beer with him, probably early when he took the Florida job, and he said he was going to make a conscious effort to try and enjoy it, because it's not an easy job to enjoy when you're in the fight, and you can tell he's enjoying it.